What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Dreamers Inc., a podcast by Ambitious Labs where we obsessively explore the roller coaster ride of startup founders running companies at all stages. We do this podcast to help inspire the next generation of builders and tell them that, hey, your dreams are valid and anything is possible. During this podcast today, I'm going to interview Faiz Imran. He's the founder and CEO of Vibely, and we're going to get into the stories that you don't get to hear from founders, because from the outside, it looks like founders are doing everything right. They don't make any mistakes and they're bulletproof. But Faiz, you and I both know that a successful founder or any founder is a product of two things: all their mistakes and the speed at which they make them. So Faiz, I'm excited to welcome you in. Faiz, again, is the founder of Vibely. Vibely is an entrepreneurial mental health company helping founders hit their goals every week. Faiz is a serial entrepreneur with multiple exits in the media, marketing, and creator space. He's also a founder based in Atlanta, a fast-growing startup scene that we'll talk about a lot more. But Faiz, I'd love to give you a chance to introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about you and how'd you land here on Vibely.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on, for sure. It's awesome. And it's also great to be part of something that's also Atlanta-based. Yeah, Vibely is something that kind of came out of necessity for our team. It wasn't something I ever planned on. My background's in the marketing space or the creator space, social media. I never saw myself being in the mental health AI space by any means. And what happened was I was working on a project called Backspace social media platform for creators. And throughout that, all of our team was remote and working remotely, and also, co-founding a company, raising while my other co-founders on the other side of the country. It was hard, especially through COVID. And we learned that it's not just us. There's a lot of other founders out there that didn't have access to the networks, the, kind of the centers like Atlanta Tech Village, if you guys are in Atlanta, or Capital Club, or if you're, in different parts of the world. But they didn't have resources that were in-person access to founders. So we wanted to make that online in a way where people can share, vent, collaborate, and actually interact with people that get it. And that's what Vibely is. It's a place to vent, share, grow, brainstorm, get feedback from other entrepreneurs every single week for an hour, because those people get it. We also push heavy on the accountability side with follow-ups. We keep everybody accountable. We go over goals, what you need to hit that week, action steps to take. We follow up with you throughout the week to make sure you're hitting those goals. And to wrap it all up, we have a coach on every single call that's a professional coach, licensed psychologist, etc., to make sure the mental side of everything is in order and you're actually taking action while staying kind of lean, but still, capable mentally. It's not like you're pushing yourself too hard just because.
Yeah, that's super dope, Faiz. Solving a huge problem. Entrepreneurs are seen as so glamorous all the time because people only see the successes. They see the press releases, they see the Instagram posts, but what they don't see is the 9 p.m. at the office grinding, missing a meal because you got back-to-back Zoom calls, relationships getting soured because you're not communicating because all you're thinking about is the contract that just fell through. These things are real and people only see what you post on Instagram, and you're solving a real problem.
It's very lonely, man. I saw a stat somewhere where it said entrepreneurs are 3 times more likely than any other group in the general population to commit suicide. And no one's focusing on them, their mental health. It's a different game. We got, BetterHelp, and you got all these different companies that do mental health for the everyday person. And it's normal therapy, right? You go in, you talk to someone, you kind of work out a plan. But entrepreneurs are just different beasts, in its own. We're super ambitious. We push ourselves. We're very nitpicky on ourselves more than anything. The way we feel better is by getting things done, by hitting goals, right? So that's why we want to bring that mental health combined with the accountability side of it. But yeah, no, we're really excited. It's been growing really fast. So.
That's dope. No, I'm super excited for you. I know this is your second company after just having, built Backspace. Tell me about what you're doing differently this time as you take the product to market. Maybe tell us about some learning experience you had from Backspace and how you are learning from that and building a lean product. And I'd love to hear about how you're building out your MVP.
Yeah, no, my whole thesis on how to build startups completely changed this year when we launched Vibely. I'm really excited to share. So in the past, I've had agencies, service-based businesses, media companies, businesses that aren't necessarily, startups. You could say they're startups, but we didn't raise capital or anything like that for those businesses. They were strictly service businesses that have been done before. So I'm going to leave that aside, but let's talk startups where we're trying to create a new product that kind of targets a problem in the market. Backspace is a good example of that. We had a vision, we had an idea, and the idea was let's allow creators to monetize without the stigma of things like, OnlyFans or other products and like that. But let's give them one place where they can talk to their community, have, exclusive content, whether it's video, course, pictures, NFTs, whatever it may be, and let's allow them to gateway that access all in one place for free. That was the product. What we did though was we started, the vision, we built the team, we started building the product, then we raised capital to continue building that product, be focused on getting users. Nowhere in this equation is revenue. Build a badass product. Let's get as many users as possible. And throughout that, we won, Product Hunt awards. We got nominated for like the Golden Kitty on Product Hunt. A lot of cool achievements, but very little revenue. That made it very hard. We had to continually keep raising to keep the product going. The roadmap was 2-3 years out is when you start making money. And I don't think startups like that will survive in this market when it's really hard to raise capital. So what we did was we kind of pivoted into Vibely. In Vibely, we took a completely different approach. When I say that, what I mean is we didn't start with like complete vision of what the product looked like or a product roadmap or with raising. We started with kind of a thesis of entrepreneurs need help, need people to talk to so they can vent, share, brainstorm, and collaborate with like-minded people. Let's throw a coach in that mix to make sure everything is guided and it's not just like all over the place. And first thing I did was not like build a product or hire a dev team, get on Upwork or none of that. First thing I did was put an offer together, which was 1 hour. And a good book to read if you want to put an offer like this together is $100 million offers.
$100 million offer? Thank you.
Book, and based on that, I wanted to make a no-brainer offer. So I was like, what's a no-brainer offer for this market? And essentially what I ended up coming with is 1 hour call, 4 entrepreneurs total, 1 moderator. We're going to go over what's going well this week, what's not going well this week, goals that you want to set, action steps, and everyone gets to network, collaborate, share, potentially become customers for each other. But it's really just a cool spot to vibe. We set the price at $500 a month, which is a lot cheaper than a lot of masterminds of the same status. We wanted to get high-level people. So once I had that offer together, straight up, man, I didn't even put a website together. I just started texting people, getting on LinkedIn, getting on...
I remember getting a text.
Yeah, and I was like, this is what I'm doing. Who wants to be involved?
Yeah.
And the goal is to get 4 people. I got the 4 people within a week. And after that, I did the first call. Like, I have no curriculum. Like, I'm doing the first call myself, like, with no idea of what it's going to be, what it's going to look like. Everyone hops on, and I'm like, we had a different name back then. And I'm like, hey, guys, I don't know if this is what we're going to do.
Making it till you make it.
Yeah, no, literally, like from there, I started realizing, okay, cool, this is a good idea. We should make a group chat after the call. I should email people this. Like, I started putting the product together backward. After that first call, that's when I built the website on Webflow. Didn't spend much time on it all. And I didn't want to take the same route of hard coding everything, hiring a dev team. So what I did was I used Webflow. I used a no-code backend to Webflow called MemberStack. I'm a non-technical founder. So I was able to put it together with a couple YouTube videos and a day or two work.
Let's go.
MemberStack. I use integrations like Zapier, Airtable, and Typeform. I think that's my whole stack. That's Vibely stack. I think about right there. And then when we had the 4 people together, I was like, cool, let's, leverage referrals and let's try to get some more people. Went from 4 people to 8 people, from 8 people to 12 people. And focus was just on people are signing up to get this 1 hour, other people and a moderator so they can set their goals, they can vent, and they can brainstorm. We just kept that thesis. We didn't focus on making it pretty, making this, that, making a platform for people to log in. We just had people, calendar invites. And with that, we went from just in that, was it like a 2-month period, 0 marketing, we got to 4,500 MRR, which is just about like 50,000 AR.
Let's go.
And I was like, okay, cool. Now we have something here. Retention, like this is later down the line, but retention held above 90% in the last like 5-6 months. So we were like, cool, we have something. And then what I started doing was focusing more on product. I became the moderator. I stayed the moderator to really understand what people wanted. And we did things like adding features, certain features, like small things. Like
I love that.
We'll fill out a form after the call. We would send them an email with the automatic, everything on there so they don't have to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Or we didn't do text messages throughout the week beforehand. But small things like that, I learned by being in it every single day. And now I'm at the point where I'm stepping away and working on the business versus working directly in the business by bringing in partners.
Yeah, you're backfilling things. Like you're creating responsibilities yourself, backfilling them, going creating another responsibility, backfilling it, rinse and repeat. Soon you'll have a multi-person organization with systems and functions. That's dope, man. I'm super stoked that it was an expensive learning experience at Backspace, but man, you're doing things that people read about, right? And so be proud of yourself.
I mean, I learned, from you, man. You used to always say, do things that don't scale. And I didn't get it. I'm like, why would I build out a whole platform? We've raised all this money for it not to scale. And I understood it afterward. Like now, like you do things that don't scale because you don't know what to build. You're building what you think you should build, but not what the product maybe should look like, what the customer
yeah. We did the same thing at Ambitious Labs. Like I literally set out a year ago, we raised money and we went out and spent a bunch of money building an app. We ended up having this app, but like no content to put in it because we didn't know who the hell wanted to use the app. So then we pivoted the business to the boot camp and then we started selling a boot camp out of thin air. And now we have people who took our class, they want to take more classes and now we're reverse engineering. We're now actually creating a brand new platform called the Lab Dash. We're scrapping the $40,000 app that we built We're building a brand new one called the Lab Dash, and it's actually reverse engineered from what our students wanted. So I'm also just a product of my mistakes and the velocity that I make the mistakes. So
I mean, that's the way to go, man. Like, we're going in acquisition for Backspace, so we kind of like are all into Vibely now.
Yeah.
But like, it's very different. It's a lot, I guess, less fun, quote unquote, when you're building the right way, I guess, when you're building, for the customer. Because when you're building what you want, it's like, here's a paintbrush, the world's you.
Yeah.
You get to make whatever you want. It's really a fun project. I get that. Like, but you want to build a business, you got to build for your customers. And the only way to do that is by starting first, having a claim, having an offer, and jumping.
Yeah. Our brains don't like to be stimulated. When you're working out, your muscles get tired. That's why you want to stop. The same thing in entrepreneurship. Like, your brain wants to do the fun stuff. It wants to shoot hoops at the basketball court. If you're at a gym with a basketball court, your brain wants to shoot hoops. Your brain doesn't want to go lift heavy weights. Same thing in entrepreneurship. Your brain wants to go on Figma and create wireframes. Your brain doesn't want to email people, ask them to get on Calendly invites and interview them. Like, that's just human nature. So as entrepreneurs, we have to just stay flexed in our brain. And that's where your solution comes in, because there are entrepreneurs who finally understand that. Then they get mentally burnt, and now they're resorting to, unfortunately, they're resorting to quick fixes when they could have went to a preventative place like yours. So like, how are you thinking about that preventative measure that entrepreneurs can take?
It's really like, it's just a different mindset, man. And like, it's funny because every and podcast and all the startup founders, they all say the same thing. And I would listen to it. Don't do things at scale. If you're really proud of how your product looks when you launch it, you launch too late. And I would kind of like roll my eyes and be like, no, man, I can launch a good product faster and better, this and that. No, like, it's just, when you get it, you get it. And what they're saying is, if you have a belief, if you believe in a thesis, you believe there's a problem, pitch the solution, get someone to pay for it. If you're trying to build a fun project just for fun, which a lot of people do, yeah, do whatever you want, do it the way you want it. If you want to build a product and a company and a business that makes money, start with the problem, pitch your solution, and keep pitching that solution until you get people paying for it, then build it. Like, it's just the whole thing of build the airplane after you jump, like on the way down. And I think preventative measures, a lot of it is not getting carried away with what you want to build, but more so building what needs to be built. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of pretty and cool and shiny things that we can build for Vibely that I very much want to. But then there's things that the customers need to stay on, things that customers need to keep that customer experience up there. And
yeah. For sure, bro. For sure. No, I love that. Like, one analogy that I had is like, at DoorDash, they require all employees to go actually deliver orders. Not sure if this is true. I've never met someone from DoorDash, but like, if a company that large is telling all of their employees, regardless of where they are, customer service, or even if they're the VP of finance, like, they're making them go deliver an order and be a DoorDasher. So like, how else are you supposed to know like what your customer is feeling like unless you go out and do it?
We do the same. Actually, at our company, anyone that interns that wants to work for us, first thing we do is you're going to jump in a Vibely session.
Yeah.
And there was like, I get the concept. When you jump in that session, feel the energy, feel like it's just, you get an understanding of what the customer is going through. So I didn't know DoorDash did that. And that's actually really cool. Like, they want everyone to know what the user experience is from A to Z before they start working on it. So they can actually feel the pains if there's any.
For sure. So you said you're a non-technical founder. You don't know how to code. Are you using no-code tools? And if so, like, what's your no-code stack?
So no-code stack is, like I went over it a little bit ago, pretty much Typeform, Airtable, MemberStack, Webflow, Zapier, and Gmail, like Twilio. Like, there's a whole bunch of random. A new one that we added that I'm really excited about, and it's not really technical, but it's called community.com.
Oh, interesting.
And it allows us to, essentially looks like the UI of an iPhone, but allows us to send messages and receive messages and conversate back and forth with all of our customers. So we use our coaches to kind of send in follow-up messages. If you said you're going to work out 3 times a week, you'll get a message in the morning saying, yo, time to work out. And if you didn't work out, or if you're having, a rough week or relationship issues or business issues or some fire you need to put out, we'll follow up with you. You can respond at any time, and a coach will be there to kind of walk you through whatever you need. And community.com has been helping with that a lot.
That's super cool. So you like bolted all these things together. You probably use Zapier to set up all your integrations. I know one thing I love about you is that you're really good at like workflow diagramming, and like, you put together diagrams of like, okay, like, user starts here, they opt into my, form on Webflow, and then they end up hitting a Zap in Zapier. Then that gets sent to an Airtable form, and then that gets sent to a notification in Slack. So I know that somebody came in, and then my sales rep will call them. Like, you're really good at kind of diagramming all that out. How do you think about diagramming that stuff, and like, why do you do it?
So there's a couple of reasons. One, I do it for user experience, and then 2, I do it to have like kind of every user scenario kind of thought out, so we have some type of response, or we know how we're going about it. So when I say that, what I mean is, like, there's a million different ways someone can get to our website, but really everything starts at our website. So diagram will start there. Sometimes if I'm really feeling it, I'll start even before that. I'll like kind of list out the million of different ways. Like, someone can see it on Reddit, someone can see it on Facebook. That's more marketing, less building the product. We'll start at the website. Someone gets to the website. There's 1 or 2 options. Either they're gonna the website and leave. You're going to look at the website, start checkout, and then leave, look at the website, start checkout, and check out. Like there's, of course, like a lot of other variables, but the core one is either someone's going to buy or they're not. That's where it starts. Someone doesn't buy, we have a whole, like we want to follow up with them. We want to have support chat. We want to have a live bot. If we collected their information, we want to call them right away. But when they do buy, what's the process after? And building that experience backwards was so helpful because I got people on that knew exactly what they were going to feel. So in the beginning, I thought we would do like a whole product that would like let people walk through, fill in their information, all that to get their information, and then we match them using AI, But what ended up happening after building it backwards, I learned that the best possible way to do it is someone signs up. First thing we do is we get them in front of a coach. They get to feel the energy. They get to talk to someone real, not just be typing things, thinking this is like any other platform. They get to talk one-on-one with a coach. After that, we have an automation that gets sent out, sends them another text message, them to schedule times that work for them. Then we have kind of all their information in our database. We use that to pair them with the best possible matches. After that, it's like there's like one or another. It's like you're either turning right or left. And for each one of those possibilities, we either have something that happens next or something that brings them back to that step if they've left. And that's kind of how we build it.
Interesting.
Use like Whimsical for that.
Oh yeah, that's a really cool diagram too. Whimsical, right?
Mira, I think is another one, but I use Whimsical.
Got you. I actually just realized that Figma, not too long ago, has Fig Jam inside of Figma, and you can just diagram in that too. So now I'm keeping like wireframes and designs like with my workflow diagram. So it's been cool. Nice, man. I guess like lastly, like as an entrepreneur, what I've realized is that like months are no longer months. Months are like weeks now. Like you think you can do so much in a month, but you actually like can't for some odd reason. Like what advice do you have for entrepreneurs who think things can get done overnight? And how do you think about staying consistent and letting things compound?
Yep. I actually just went through that really heavily just like a week or two ago. What happened was I'm solo doing this, by the way, the whole project. Everything has been just me, no employees, no co-founder till now. And what I was doing was there's a balance, right? So in the beginning, I was focusing on sales. I got these customers in. Then I started focusing on product, making the best product, keeping them there. But while I'm focusing on product and I'm actually moderating the calls myself, I'm sending the messages, I'm doing the notes, I couldn't focus on sales. So then I'll jump back to sales and the product starts, I'm not there and it's suffering and I'm not mentally there. So then I'm doing this back and forth. In the past, I had a technical co-founder. Like I think having a co-founder adds a lot, especially when it's harder to pay people in the beginning. So what I just recently did was we brought on a new co-founder. His name is Vincent Infanti, and he's an award-winning coach, works with executives and big corporations all around the world. He spoke at
That's dope. Hell yeah. Congrats.
So he's going to be doing the moderation, mental performance coaching side of things. He's a licensed therapist and everything. So he's handling the moderation side, allowing me to focus completely on the sales, marketing, and getting people in and making sure they have the best experience. Because I know Vin has that experience covered. So I guess my biggest advice is you're one person. Yes, you can go out and you can go hire, someone for moderation or someone for every little element in your business. I would use virtual assistants for a lot of tedious tasks to buy you back time, $2, $3 an hour. You can use something like onlinejobs.ph for that. But realistically, if you're trying to build a startup and you're trying to have longevity in that startup, you need someone who brings their own expertise to the table, someone like a co-founder. That's why places like Y Combinator, it's very rare that you see like a solo founder get accepted. And I actually knew someone who got accepted with the condition of brings on a co-founder. I am slowly understanding why it's so important.
Yeah, for sure. The complementary skill sets, for sure. Like when we found Moses not too long ago, it was like a match made in heaven because like Moses loves people and he loves building. And like I love people and I love building, but like Moses really loves seeing people actually like be successful. So having recently hired Moses, bringing him on our team as a partner, he was able to fill the gap. Like I'm good at sales and marketing. I'm good at product development. I'm good at building systems and teams. And so like Moses was able to help own the fulfillment. So like honestly, just like finding people who have like complementary skill sets. And then the inverse of that is like you don't want to have two people who are good at sales and marketing and two people who are good at building companies. Not every hire you make needs to be an entrepreneur. You actually don't want too many entrepreneurs in your business. You want people who are go-getters, executors, and who love the idea of like performance-based compensation, right? Like the more I do for the business, the more money I can make. So I'm sure like as your coach maybe takes more calls, he's more motivated to keep taking more calls and keep growing the coaching system because he ultimately scaled that side of the business.
Exactly.
A lot of entrepreneurs like bring on way too many other entrepreneurs in their company, and that's what causes, turmoil. That's what causes misaligned objectives. You want people who are executors, and you need only one or two people who are visionaries.
No, totally agree. And then I've also heard, a lot of people like they have like a person in their company whose sole purpose is visionary. I don't agree with that. I think you need to be like an executor and a visionary because I feel like people that are pure visionaries are like just trying to design something, but they're not really always talking to the product. They're not talking to the customers. They're not connected in that sense. So I totally totally agree with you. You need entrepreneurs, people that build and take ownership within the business. You need executors. Maybe that's in a co-founder. Maybe that's, a hired role where it's salary. But you totally need people that complement your skills, yin and yang. It's, the balance is there.
I love it, man. I'm stoked to see where you were when we first met like 2 years ago and where you are. Dude, thanks so much for taking the time. I hope that one day we come back to this and we're like, damn, that's where we both were. That's where you were. And yeah, man, I'm super excited for you. Thanks for taking the time. Again, this podcast is all about inspiring people, accelerating their learning curve, allowing us to be their test dummies. They get to learn from our experiences. And I believe in karma. It'll come back around. So good stuff, man. Proud of you. Anything else you want to say to anyone that might be listening?
Thank you for having us. And then if anyone, kind of needs mental health or needs the support of entrepreneur group or can't afford Vibely, shoot me an email at hello@Vibely.ai and pitch us whatever you can afford and we'll make it happen. The goal for Vibely is to help entrepreneurs be better, hit their goals, and feel better. Also, is making some cash. But yeah, that's the goal.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram at FaizImran, FaizImran, or FaizImran.com. Just anywhere. I usually respond pretty fast.
Awesome. I'll include the link to your LinkedIn in the show note, the link to your website, link to your email address. And we'll make sure that people have a bunch of ways to contact you because I think what you're offering is well needed. If there are any other entrepreneurs out there who are feeling alone or feeling anxious, go to Vibely. I think that's the stuff that we need more of these days.
Thank you.
Cool, man. Thanks.